Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More, and with me we have.
Ashley Renee, host of Sex with Ashley. What's up?
Hello, girl. How you doing?
Hey.
And
Nikki Prue, how's it going?
it's going, girl. We're gonna before we get into hot topics, we're gonna talk what happened with us, what's going on with us, because you just told us you got back from Jacksonville
Oh boy.
from a concert.
Yeah, I drunkenly bought Hozier tickets all the way in Jacksonville. We're in Pinellas County, Florida, so
Yeah.
that's about an 8-hour drive total. I don't regret it, but I'm pretty exhausted today, so
Well,
bear with me.
At least it was worth it, and you don't look exhausted.
No, you
Oh.
don't.
Love you.
No, but tell us the funny part about it, like, because you forgot.
This poor
Oh!
girl.
My phone died on the way back, so I drove in 4 hours of silence.
It's the worst.
I don't even remember. I was just playing the concert over and over in my head. It was like an endless rerun. I wanted to die.
Yeah, that's awful. There's no, one of those things you don't think about until it happens to you, how miserable it
Because
is.
Nikki was like, she's like, you're probably sitting there in the car just like.
Dead stare, straight ahead.
Was it at nighttime?
Oh,
Oh,
You're
it was
playing it at
nighttime
nighttime.
too, so there was no one else on the road. I was just, my eyes were like
It's like an old
glazing
sad
over.
song.
Some fun things going on with me. My show's this Saturday, which I'm excited about. Obviously,
Woo-woo!
yeah, woo! You know, last night I was kind of thinking, I'm not sure where my last number's gonna be, and I swear to God, I thought about it, but I think I forgot what I wanted to do. I have no idea.
You remember it?
know
I mean, you figured it out and since have forgotten.
Yes, like in the matter of hours of rehearsing the song I'm singing, and then like to be sitting here now, no clue. I think I want to do a musical theater piece, but I'm not sure. Not sure on that. Anything to add, Nikki? You want to add what's going on? Like this weekend at work was crazy.
Oh, this past weekend
Yeah.
was probably the worst full moon effect I've ever seen at any job that I've ever had. There was a lot going on. A lot of interesting people came through and put me right through the ringer.
So it's interesting. Full moon. Like I think even after like getting off work, it was like people out in the city in St. Petersburg, and that's where we are, live from St. Petersburg, Florida.
It's Saturday night.
Just downtown, I thought it was a little crazy.
Yeah.
We had
Oh,
fun
downtown
though.
was a little. How about that guy
What guy?
who wanted me to be his pool partner?
Wait, what?
Oh,
You were on the other side of the table. Actually, no, you were sitting next to me, but you were talking to John. I was this close to just doing one of these to your arm and being like, I need help now.
just to give you
He
guys a little
wouldn't go away.
Just to give you guys a little backstory, the girls and I had little drinks this weekend with our coworkers. It was really fun, and Nikki and I were at the end of the table, and this guy was talking to her.
When somebody comes up, it's fine. I don't care if you want to say hi, try your luck. But if I'm gently batting away all of your weird advances, and not turning towards you at all, I had my body faced in the opposite direction. And then when I finally said something about my boyfriend's coming to get me, I got, oh, well, that's a good way to get rid of me. I was like, well, if I had known that, I would have just opened with
Just
that.
open up.
And then, but later that night, I'm happy to report that I did see him twirl dancing with a very intoxicated young woman on
Aw,
the street. So we
I
did
love a
find love after
romantic.
all.
All right, guys. So let's jump into some hot topics that happened like in the beginning of last week and beginning of this week. So first, I really wanted to chime in on this story about I think her name's Christian Tinsley. Is the mother who was banned and from the middle school, California middle school. I think the school is called Nigel Hills Middle School. After she went in on it says a tirade defending her child from bullying her daughter. They were bullying her daughter basically on social media and her walk home. She went in the classroom and I don't want to say threatened, but yeah, it
No, it was a threat.
comes out with threat.
I feel like it was more of a promise.
Yeah,
but
more of a promise. Yeah,
either category works.
because basically she said, what did she say? She's like, I want you guys to stop bullying my daughter. Like,
Yeah, I have it.
if you bully my daughter, okay, because she was asking them to stop. Then this is what she said: if you all bully my daughter, if you look at her the wrong way, if you breathe the wrong way, send your mom to me. Sisters, aunts, anybody over 18, I'll fuck them up. I'll fuck them all up. Do you understand me? Leave my daughter alone. Now, my comment on this, because after this, she got banned from the school system, yeah. Mm-hmm. My comment on this, I'm like, I think we all talked about being bullied earlier in the meeting. My bullying was like, it was almost like, it was like a hazing. It was the worst thing I ever had to go through. Like every day it was something, some dude or some boys and girls bullying me because I'm gay. I didn't know I was gay back then, but it was awful. And I wish honestly, as a child who's been bullied, I wish my mom came in and said the same shit. Because my mom felt the same way, you know, because I wish they didn't ban her. I think people should take her words into account. Because what is she supposed to do, you know, after...
She's defending her baby.
Right. But, like, my question is, like, if you're calling... She said she was calling the schools, and one of the guys who sexually harassed her, the school was notified, and he was suspended, but it only got worse afterwards. So, my question is, how far do you have to go in bullying? And what do we think about this?
The thing that stuck out to me, what worries me, is kids are awful, and especially since this went viral, I'm concerned that the bullying might get worse.
I had that thought too.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, here, then you have a bunch of kids who kind of have the mindset of, oh, well, she can't even fight her own battles. She's getting her mother to do it, which obviously isn't right. I don't agree with that. But
no, it's
kids
not.
don't
You know
care.
how awful kids are.
Exactly.
They can be meaner than the meanest adult you've ever met because they know where to hit. And yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't want to say it. I feel like this poor girl's got a whole other, you know, enough to deal with right now, but I imagine it might intensify now.
I mean, so the daughter, it all started, I think it was the same morning. She told her mom that if she wasn't as strong as she was, she would have killed herself, which is...
How heartbreaking is that?
Yeah, I can understand where the rage comes from the mother, but at the same time, I do have to question if this was the appropriate way to handle it.
Well, she even said that too. She's like, I don't think I...
It was hilarious.
I have mad respect for this woman.
Oh, yeah, no,
I can't imagine being that filled with rage over my kid, but...
On a personal level, I understand where she's coming from, and I think she has every right to be mad. But on a professional level, but at the same time, like you said, Desire, she already did everything else she could do. But I also don't think that violence is ever the answer.
Right.
So it's really hard it's hard for me to have an opinion on this one.
Right. Because honestly... Because wasn't she handing out, like, tickets?
It said free ass.
It was a legitimate, like, she had them printed up.
Yeah.
It looked like an old school, like, circus ticket. And it just, all it said was valid for any, like, must be over the age of 18.
Free!
So I was like, she did cover her bases there, which I thought was very smart.
Right? Because she's like, you know, everybody over the age 18. I mean, I don't know, because I've gone through the proper channels, and I think a lot of parents have gone through the proper channels. To save their child from being bullied, and like I said, I mean, yeah, we're right. You're right, Ashley. Like, I think that she did go about it the wrong way. But like, after hearing your child, I don't have a kid, but if I have a dog, you know, anything happens to him, you know, I'm gonna be irate and angry and upset. But I would have to think that if you have a kid, you are its parent. You are that child's parent. You are the child's protector. Like my niece and nephew, when they're here, nothing's happening to them. You know, we're going to make sure they are going to be safe. So, I mean, I just don't, I mean, even after, I've graduated high school like 12 years ago. How long is this going to keep going on? And we keep talking about the news, whatnot. And, you know, we're talking to people, we're having parent-teacher conferences. And I get what you said, because you just said after all of this hubbub, it could intensify. I think you may very well be right. But what I know about bullies is if you stand up to somebody, and even your mom said to you, like, I think even the parents would be like this, you know what? Leave that girl alone. Because if this woman is acting like this, I'm pretty sure this Christian Tinsley, that's her name again, she is not a violent person. You know, she's
Right.
probably like a girl you want to have drinks with. You know.
She
But-
definitely seems like somebody I would want to have a drink with.
Oh hell yeah!
Sure.
I mean, free ass whooping.
Hey, can I borrow some of those?
But I don't know. I just don't. I just feel like this school system has to do a lot more, and
Yes.
I'm not sure what route. I think that's the problem, that we're not sure the solution is to what's
Right.
bullying. It's because if someone gets suspended or kicked out of the school, that person get angry. I mean, maybe counseling such. I think what I think would work. If you're being bullied, I think you should have a counselor like sit you guys down and let you see this person's pain and make that person feel the same way. Like, well, do you want to feel like this every day, like to the bully? Do you want you to feel like this every day? Because someone called me the N-word a couple of weeks ago, and it, like the hard R,
Oof.
not the time with the
Not
sex thing.
Not the
that
funny kind either.
one.
Not the kind we can laugh about.
No, but I got very angry, like as any other African American would. But I'm glad I didn't whoop his ass, because I got to talk to him and say, this would hurt a lot more. How do you feel being like marginalized and being treated like if a crime happens, they're gonna look at you first and say that you did it, or when you look at me, you think that I'm probably not as intelligent as you, and you always have to keep fighting to be a better person. How would you feel that you can say one word and everybody knows what that means? You can't tell me that you said the way he said it. You can't tell me that you didn't mean to say that. And then he got a little. Then I got pissed. He got scared. I'm like, okay, so because I think that's what that is. Bullies are scared. I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, you're
No.
not. You're
You're
not at
doing
all.
a great job.
No, I'm talking too much. I think bullies are scared and they have their own problems.
Yes.
So that's what I found out with that kid. He has his own problems to go through. But I'm glad I got through to him, because I'm like, well, nothing's wrong with me. It's all has something to do with you. Anybody else last comments on this? Want to throw anything in? Anything funny?
Pretty much covered it.
Okay.
But
All right, so we're going to move on to our next topic, skedaddle. We're going to let Ashley bring this up. She's the one that sent us, she's always about that. She sent us an article, and I want to get into it. Let's do it.
Right, that was a little bit peppy considering the
Oh, yeah.
subject matter, but
Sorry.
I can't really say this in any good way. This
Right.
is about a man who raped a 12-year-old girl. She fell pregnant, and he got custody rights to that child 8 years later. Let me see what I have written here. So, first of all, he was sentenced to a year for this rape. He threatened to kill this girl, and he sentenced a year.
Can you give us the backstory of like what actually happened to her, and then the sentencing? Like when she was held captive for a couple of days.
Oh, that was a different.
That wasn't the same one?
No.
Oh, okay.
that was the one he committed after.
Right.
Later
I
on.
didn't find too much information about the initial rape.
No, I didn't either. I was wondering.
Because I thought that was this story.
No.
'Cause-
It is the story, but it's not with this particular victim.
Okay.
He had other victims after. Yeah.
Then were we talking about a rape case a couple of weeks ago? I'm sorry.
No, I
Keep
think
going.
we were.
Yeah, we were. And then
There's
and
a
you
rape
said,
case every day.
You said that they didn't give him the same charges as like a rapist. That he was a low risk of recommitting that
Yes.
crime.
Yes.
And what did you say?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up on this one
Sorry,
too.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Like I said,
Same
the
page.
last one, the recidivism rate for especially child rapists is, I believe, the statistic is at 95%. It might even be higher. 95% of recidivism,
Jesus.
which means that they will commit
Commit
again.
it again.
Well, my whole thing is, if somebody has that in their mind to do that, what is going to stop them from doing it again?
Mhm.
If you have that chemical imbalance or whatever it is going on in your brain that makes you think that's okay, it wouldn't even be a question in my mind that it could happen again.
Especially
it probably would.
The prison system. It's not a reformative system,
No, it's not.
so that's not gonna.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, because this man, so he raped the 12-year-old. He got out after 6 months, and then he kidnapped, which is what Desire was talking about.
Mhm.
Kidnapped, I think it was a 13 and a 15-year-old. They were sisters. Kidnapped them, held them captive for 2 days, and raped them. I mean,
It's
in a year, because they said that wouldn't, like, he wouldn't do it
And
again.
they gave him 4 years for that.
Which
but
is
then-
disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Only-
this was around the same time that she was the original victim was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they granted him custody, gave him her address, added his name to the birth certificate. I don't understand in what reality ever that should be something that could conceivably happen.
This happened in Michigan. The offender's name is Christopher Mirasolo. But even after because what happened was, what I understood is her name's Tiffany, the girl who has the kid by him. She was receiving federal assistance, and in order to continue receiving it, she had to give the real name. Yes.
Okay.
And then so that's how he got, the judge gave him legal, what is it called? Custody of that child, joint custody of that child with her. Now, he's since rescinded that whole thing, the custody issue, but still, we bring up that's still a problem that judge thought it was okay to give him, parental custody rights, and even the information of where this girl lives, this woman lives, that's just not.
Can you imagine?
And she didn't know.
She didn't know.
She didn't know that information was given to
didn't
her
know.
rapist.
Mm-hmm. She didn't know.
Why? I was gonna say what would stop him from coming to rape her again, but she's too old for him now.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only thing saving her.
I mean,
But can you imagine if she had no idea and this guy shows up? If he somehow showed up, hey, can you imagine seeing the person who raped you?
No.
And knowing you had
the psychological.
I was just gonna say, this poor girl.
She dropped out of school at 13
to
raise
child.
The kid's now 8. I mean, the effects on her life are already. This is just. I mean, I hate to say icing on the cake, but
it's.
I mean,
even the effect on that child's life, and her lawyer, her name is Rebecca. I think it's Kilsing. I'll go back and look it up. But her lawyer. I found it interesting. Her lawyer. I don't even know if I'm gonna bring this up, but her lawyer was. Her lawyer's anti-abortion. Because to me, because we're talking about the abortion laws that are happening in Alabama and around, and they're telling you that even if it's a rape case, you couldn't do that. You now, well, in 6 months, once those laws are passed, if they're not struck down by the Supreme Court, that even if you're raped or have incest, you cannot abort that child. Mm-hmm. So, but even this child because I think Kristen, her lawyer is a part of an organization about, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about women who have gone through that, like rape.
Is that the Federal Rape Survivor Child Custody Act? Because that's what she's using to try to halt this whole process of giving him rights.
Oh, you need specs on that?
I don't. This was in that same article. But it just says that the victim, now 21, and her attorney, Rebecca, is it Kiesling? Kiesling is. I feel like there's always these last names that I cannot pronounce. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Is seeking to halt the act under the Federal Rape Survivor Child Custody Act. Custody was granted by.
That's it. But no, I think she's a part of a organization because her lawyer was a child of rape. And she was adopted by some people, so she found that out when she was 18. That's why she's a lawyer for these type of cases, and she started the foundation. I can't remember what the foundation's called, but I just don't really. I don't know, Ashley. I agree with you. Like I don't know. It's kind of showing us how our government. They're not really big on women's rights. If that makes sense.
Really?
You think?
Wow, I just learned something new. Sorry.
You know what I mean. Like,
yes. Yeah.
But it's. I think it's. Not, I mean, saying like that, it's more visible. It's like, okay, what the hell is this shit? Like, especially we talked about the guy in Texas. Now Michigan's doing the same shit. Like it's crazy how these rapists because I think when you subject someone to rape, you kind of take something from them. You take a certain a comfortability, a piece of their soul with you. You destroy it. You're never the same person again. You probably can't trust men the same way as you used to. Absolutely not.
It's a big slap in the face to women.
Yeah.
It takes years and years off their life, off their lives. Mm-hmm. As far as rehabilitating themselves, even emotionally. Like, I can't even imagine. And then to throw something like that on top of it, it's like, where are we going to draw the line?
Right.
Is there any protection whatsoever anymore? Or is there any consequence? It sounds like that's all just fading away, and it's just getting worse.
Right, we were just talking about, like, we're gonna get into politics later, but like some of these guys are being subpoenaed to come to speak and to testify in front of Congress, and there's like, oh no, I'm not gonna do it. Like where? So then who's the law? You know, like where do you like if the Attorney General William Barr decides not to like answer subpoenas, then if he's not doing it, it's making you think that you can get away with this stuff, and you absolutely can't. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
No. It isn't fair. No. Mm-mm. Okay. Anybody else want to? We got some more to say on this topic. We want to keep going.
I could talk all day.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Let me
yeah.
just limit me now.
No, go ahead, Ashley. Like, if you want to, I want.
No, really. Yeah. No.
You're all good?
Yeah, I don't need to get angry.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Angry.
It's just going to be a circle of just anger.
Well, I have a couple of fun topics that we can just throw in.
Oh gosh, it's time.
It's time. No, I was watching a show and I thought the same thing. I'm like, what would I think? Because I'm flip-flop on this issue. Okay, so question is like, would you be okay with your friend having a relationship with your ex? And I mean like an ex that you've dated for a year and now they're dating. Not like just, let's go have drinks. Like you saw this person naked, now they're seeing this person naked. Like, how would you feel if a friend...
how close is the friend and
yep.
how big of a deal was the ex?
Let's make it
best
interesting.
friend, one of your loves of your life?
Let's make it more interesting. It's your best friend, and then this the guy that your ex is like one of the loves of your lives.
Okay.
How would you... Just her face.
Sounds like a can of worms.
Well, if he was the love of your life, why is he your ex?
Well, I think maybe means like was that you look back and were like, oh, he was one of the ones that got away, or
Right.
I mean, I think that raises a really good point, because if you're in a good enough place in your life, whether you're with somebody or not, it shouldn't matter. I think you should maybe say see you later to your best friend, because I think there's a million people in the world, and they have to choose each other.
Is this your best friend, and it's a long time in your life that now they're now seeing them? Are you saying that you would be jealous of her being with your ex? Or
I feel like there's a lot of I mean, it would depend. If it was like 2 weeks later, I'd probably have a big problem with it. If it was years later, I mean, it would. I don't know how I would feel. I feel like at different times in my life, I've probably felt different emotions about things like that. But I think it kind of depends on your maturity level as a person, and again, how close all those relationships are, and how much time they let lapse between that.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes, were you with them when we were together? And it opens up all these little doors of doubt and suspicion, and depending on the kind of person you are, you can make yourself crazy with that stuff. So I don't know. Now I wouldn't care, but...
Yeah, like, I have an ex right now, like, Scott Williams. Fucking take that man. Take him.
Take
him.
Put him on blast.
Yeah, that's his name.
Later,
Scott. It's the truth. Well, if it's the truth, I'm not saying anything bad about him, but yeah, please. He's kind of,
at
not
this point
my
in life,
cup of tea
anybody
these
can
days.
have any ex that I have ever had, because they were all mistakes. Last 1 year.
Well, that's that's the thing. If one of my friends, so like my ex it was a very toxic, borderline abusive relationship. So if my friend, knowing this, goes and gets in a relationship, I'd kind of be like, what the fuck?
Like, were you just my friend so we broke up?
Well, no, I'd be like, why are you putting yourself in that? I lived that for you. Why are you doing that?
You saw me go through it, and you were going through it with me.
I'd be dumbfounded.
So
I'd be
why
I'm not gonna
make the decision to repeat my mistakes.
Yeah, because then
So
I'm
throw
gonna be
that out there for
expected
whoever
to be
wants to hear it.
sitting here. Like, whenever you start crying and you're like, oh, he's doing this, I'll be like, yeah, he's doing that. I told you
You're like,
he
oh,
did
guess
that.
what? He's going to do this in 3 hours.
He's
so good luck with
gaslighting
that.
you right now, bitch. Like,
I'll be honest. If I'm gonna be absolutely honest, I'm a jealous person. I just am. I don't know. I mean, but with Scott, even when I see him with someone else, I do get a little like, whatever.
I think that's a very, very natural human reaction.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're talking about it means that you're not like crazy jealous. That's normal.
That's normal. I mean,
you could be okay with it and still be like I twitchy about it, but get over it.
I mean, I've had some exes that I've dated that, I mean, if my friend dated them, like you said, it would depend, but nah, I ain't gonna lie, fuck that. I would just have, I would feel a certain type of way. I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't be their friend again. You know, I wouldn't talk. Well, that my ex is my ex. You know, most of my exes you don't really speak to.
Right.
Some of them, you know, you have a good relationship with. Like, you know, you became
Right.
friends. It's better that you're friends than lovers. But you know, I'm not gonna lie. I tend to get jealous like very easy, and I don't think I would be okay. I just can't have that because you're fucking the same guy that I did. I'm like, no, that's weird.
And we have too much like history for us to like.
It's weird. Well, you know, okay, I'll share a story. This is okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
Story time.
Story time. Well, this is like with my last relationship. You know, Scott would always have like his ex around, and I thought that was weird because then you're thinking like, you know, oh, are they still sleeping together? You know, I never understood that. You know, and. How am I gonna say this? I did end up having an experience with both of them, yes. But after that,
sometimes.
I could never like date Scott and like have like just sleep with him
Once
again.
you cross that line, it's real hard to go backwards.
Right. You know, like his ex is crazy too, and so I really don't give a fuck about him, you know. But if it was a friend of mine, I don't think I could ever like cross that line and seeing them naked. And then, you know, they start dating a friend of mine. Like, I've slept with friends, and we can still be friends, but
it's different.
Having a whole relationship, you know, like, it's crazy. No, bitch. Like, that's mine. Or that was mine. But, like, come on. Like, there's all these people around the world. You can find someone else.
No. That's what I mean. Yeah, there's enough people in the world. Like, branch out.
Yes.
Go meet your own people.
Hello? Go to Tampa.
That's your first mistake.
Go to Tampa.
That's your first mistake. Okay, so let's
On that note, sorry people from Tampa.
I'm to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Nikki was the same way because you're like depending on the circumstances.
Oh, I used to be a viciously jealous person. Like I won't pretend that I wasn't. I was also given a lot of reasons to be. But so that's why it's hard for me to say now because I don't have the dating and relationship drama that I used to, that I mostly brought on myself. Back then, yes, I would have probably not taken well to it, you know, but now it's like it's hard for me to see because I don't have those reasons anymore. Like I don't have like people in my life who would do that at this point. So it's hard to say. But again, I think we all have that little like grain of jealousy inside us and it doesn't mean we're bad people.
I think it's a grain for me. It's like,
well, that's okay. Sometimes it's bigger. Scenic, it's more of a boulder.
Okay, not that big, but I don't know.
I hear
that's mine.
That's honest.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Yep.
Scorpio. So
Scorpio.
Yep.
That's why I asked you. I'm like, wait, hold on.
That's
just how you answer that. I'm like, wait, bitch, you're not saying.
Yeah. No, you're right. I will fully admit I used to be an angry person. But again, I had a lot of people in my life that contributed to that.
I gotta remember to bring a fan in here because I don't know, I'm kind of hot. No?
It's just because I'm here.
Hot. It's Ashley's back, that's why.
Back.
It was cool and breezy in here last week.
Ashley, wait, what's your sign?
Pisces.
Pisces? Oh, my rising's a Pisces sign. Okay, yeah. Oh, well,
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right. No wonder we get along.
All right, so I just couldn't wait to ask Nikki that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, she's gonna say the same shit.
Can you just see the crazy underneath?
I can see the crazy in the face.
There's like a twinkle in the eye.
Even when you're answering the question, you're just like, you know, how do I say I don't want to fuck somebody up? Like, how do I?
Oh yeah, because like I said, granted, I could get very angry, but I'm like, I don't know. I think I've had to put all that away because I used to be a real angry person.
I know, like turning 30, it's like it's a turning point. Like it's the new 20.
Swear to God, it was. Yes, I was so scared of my 30th birthday, and when it finally came, it was one of the best birthdays I've ever had, and I just started to like get things after that. I'm still getting them, but
what did you do on your 30th birthday?
I went, well, my birthday is 2 days before Halloween, so we went to this karaoke bar this was in Massachusetts, Cafe Neo, and there was like a contest. We didn't know, and I wasn't even going to enter it because, you can imagine, like some of mostly it was like most girls just got up and did like a strip tease in like underwear. So I was like, so I entered, and I think I got up on the bar and just went like, because I didn't know, and I fucking won. And some people were so mad. I was really close with the bartender who was like the sweetest man alive, and he was always bartending, and he'd always hook us up with drinks. And I'm pretty sure he didn't like some of the shit that was going on because he's very just,
stoic.
Yeah, but so it was a pretty fun moment for me.
Yeah, I did. I turned 30 last year, and lo and behold, speaking of exes, I was with my ex Scott, and he's really, sometimes he can be really sweet. I have a nice body, so you have to you gotta add a little craziness, and then be really nice to me in order to keep me around. No, but
in order to keep me around.
No, so my birthday, so we were at the garage and we did karaoke. It was my birthday.
I used to do it.
My birthday was on Saturday, and Friday night turned 12, whatever not. So we were celebrating. We were celebrating Friday night. So he went out and brought a cake, and I don't really eat sweets like that. So I wish I didn't though. Now that I think about it, Publix cake is really good. With the buttercream.
Publix, yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. So I gave the cake to everyone in the bar, and since karaoke's going on, I couldn't help myself. I can't tell you how many times I was on stage. I was singing anything from musical theater to pop. I think we got there at 8:00 when it started, so I was there
awesome.
all fucking night, wasted. I got so drunk, and I mean, and now when I get drunk, I get freer. I'm like, oh, you're gonna do Wicked? So if you care to find me.
Oh my God.
And we're just going. I'm just going in, and I'm singing all this shit. It was so much fun. But because the next morning I had to take my car to get a oil change, and Scott's like, oh baby, wake up. And I'm like, look, I barely moved. I was like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
I'm like, yeah, I'm just I'll lose the appointment. I'll get another one. But I'm not going to tell you what he did afterwards, because then it's going to be
he went to go get your oil change.
Yeah,
didn't he?
Yeah,
I
he
knew
did.
you were going to say that.
He did.
Oh, Scott.
I must be great in bed, all these sacrifices.
All these sacrifices.
It's that great body that you're
saying. I know. I mean, if it was me, I'd have like, bitch, you going to sleep? All right, good. And that was...
Sneak out the back.
He had to walk back, so I'm not a fan of walking in Florida. It wasn't that hot. It wasn't hot. It rained early
but
today.
when you're hungover and it's the morning and it's Florida heat and sun.
I don't think Scott drank that much that night. I don't think he did, because he knew I was getting wasted. So.
That's another. Stop giving Scott so many points. What is this?
No, he's got a DUI, so he knows he's not going to do that
okay,
again.
okay.
Yeah.
So he does have points.
Bing.
That was good.
Bing.
We need one of those.
We need
for
guiding.
puns and one line.
Guiding. All right, so
we have too much fun.
Oh my God, I love it.
So the next topic we're gonna hit on really fast is Robert F. Smith, the billionaire investor who just vowed to make a grant to pay off all the student loans for the 2019 graduates of Morehouse College, which is a famous black college. I wish I went there at that time.
No kidding.
So a little something about. I mean, I didn't really look him up, but I found it was funny that some Instagram and Twitter users kind of we can talk about both issues of this. I think it's really great. Because the president of the school said and the fact that he was paying their student loans, he's like, when you have to service debt, the choices about what you can go and do in the world are more constrained. Robert Smith's gift gives them the liberty to follow their dreams and their passions. Mm-hmm. I think it's great, but some Twitter users and Instagram user didn't like the fact that Oprah, who's also a billionaire as well, he's like she was handing out books, I think, at the graduation, and someone said to her, you should have paid their student they said what you should have paid their student loans. And then Oprah then clapped back. She goes, I've already paid I've already done $14 million in scholarships, so I'm doing my part. So the question is that I want to ask you guys is, does it matter how big the gesture is, or as long as you're doing something to affect change? Because remember, Oprah also has a school in
she does.
Africa.
I mean, she does a lot.
I mean, I know if there's some other people, I'm not gonna name names, who feel the same way as this person. It's like, oh, why didn't Oprah? Well, why isn't she out there paying student loans and things like that? But then again, I hear she buys houses for people. What do you think, Ashley?
No, I think that as long as you're contributing, and also I just don't think that's really fair to kind of, how are you going to sit back and be like, you should be doing more? Well, what are you doing?
Exactly.
I mean, and
Yep,
you can't
I agree.
solve all the world's issues. $14 million in scholarships is significant.
That's
It's
a
huge.
lot.
Just
of
as
money.
significant as what
I think it's
what was
40.
his name?
I think it's 40. Robert F. Smith. I think the rough estimate of the student loans is $40 million.
Okay, see, I mean, that's still, they changed at the very least. I mean, they changed more than just one person's life, but if you change one person, you've succeeded.
You've done something. Yeah.
She's giving back. I mean, the whole, it just comes
She
back
gets back.
to
That's why it's a weird thing to
Yeah.
focus on her. How come you're not doing this specific thing that this person
even
did?
though you've done all of these other wonderful
Why are you
charitable
shitting on
things.
her for not doing this specific thing that somebody else is doing when she's she's done umpteen other things?
And what
Right.
are you doing? That's my
Yes,
that's my whole
yes.
thing. What
Right.
are
I
you
agree.
doing?
Because Oprah did clap back on that, but then she also said, she said something in a commencement speech. She's like, you're not gonna be able to fix everything, and that's the realest truth ever. She's like, as long as you're trying to do something that's bigger than yourself, that's not for you, then I believe that you're doing the right thing. I just kind of think it was wrong and ignorant of someone to think that, because I know the black community, they see, someone, it's not really a big thing to see an African American who is a billionaire or who's a millionaire like Tyler Perry, whatever, whatnot, and they expect just from what I hear, they expect, you got to be giving back, you got to be doing this, but just because you can't see it, because what he did, Robert F. Smith, he did a great thing. Damn, I wish I was going to that school.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had known that, and then I would have went to Morehouse, and then got my student loans paid off. But at the same time, I forgot where I was going with this. At the same time, I think she's right. It's not up to her to fix all of the community's problems. You know what I mean? Because I got in an argument with my brother, and I was telling him, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of issues that are going on with equality in this country. Like, women's rights are being challenged right now, and then we already know about the racial divide in this country and what's going on with them. If you're not out there doing, you can't be. One thing I couldn't really understand about, not any specific organization, or anyone in specific, but I've noticed that the black community, they were like, oh, we want this, we want that, we want equal rights to this person, but they don't really extend it to other people. Like, if you're gay, just for me, in my experience, if you're gay, you're nothing. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about you getting married, whatever not, or they don't really support that. My question is, how can you have equal rights for yourself, but not for someone else, just because they're different? Well, guess what? That's how people feel about you. They feel like you're different. You know what I'm saying?
That's why intersectionality is so vital.
Right.
I mean,
Hello?
you hear about it a lot with feminism, but it extends to all social issues.
Yeah, because if you think about they're all minorities, because honestly, I mean, I know we were going to talk about this episode, but honestly, I can't. When I started researching more into the abortion, I thought we were going to talk about that today, but we didn't have our guests. I just found it so crazy that they're deliberately trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. But I thought it was so crazy that they know. They say most of these people, politicians, studied the Constitution, and the one thing in the Constitution, like we said, we always said, was there's a separation between church and state. So God has nothing to do with what you have to do with your body. I don't know. How did you feel about that? Because you weren't here. You didn't say anything. I'm just gonna bring it up just since we're already on it. How did you feel
Yeah,
about?
no, I was just trying to figure out how we got to this point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm okay with it. No,
She's like, I'm on board.
I'm
just
passionate. I
didn't
was
see
just
the
like
drive.
trying to add it up. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I kind of jumped from Oprah, and then
quickie.
it's not her.
It was a
it's
quickie.
A quickie
I
transition.
I kind of transitioned from Oprah, and then you had the fact that they wanted her to fix all the world's problems, but then I went to the black community saying that some people in the black community don't really support others' roles, and my brother was like, "Oh, women's rights." He even said he's like women's rights. He's like, what does that have to do anything with you? And I'm like, well, there are black women out there too, who are gonna have to need who are gonna need contraceptives, and who's gonna need a termination in some form or another. If because usually they're fighting for like late term abortions, but that rarely happens.
Right.
It's only if the child's already dead. But look, how did you feel about that? I just want to grab a piece of last week's episode. We wish you were here, but I want to know because you're smart.
Oh,
Nothing.
ditto. I don't know. This is definitely something. I mean, if you look at my Facebook feed, it's literally just about abortion. This is something that I could talk for days about. I mean, it all goes back to my uterus, my decision. But it really pisses me off because we are taking so many steps backwards. We were talking earlier, and we're just sitting here, and we're watching our rights being taken away from us, and there's nothing we can do. And that breaks my heart. I mean, what happens if it turns into the 1920s again? Like, what happens when we can't vote anymore? Which I know is a complete hyperbole.
Well, it is, but it's still a scary time. Things are becoming scarier every day.
Exactly. And and I also really want to hit on the point with all of this. I see a lot of people just bringing up instances of rape and incest. Yes, it should be accessible for that, but can we also talk about abortion just needs to be an option of, oh, I made a mistake.
Right.
Oh, my birth control. Same thing happens with the birth control argument. People are like, oh, well, women use birth control for a lot more reasons than just sex. I'm using it for sex.
Yeah,
I'm using it because I'm having sex.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, and people like use that, and they're like, oh, well, you're using abortion as birth control. No, that's not what it is, but it needs to be an option.
No, and there definitely should be guidelines because there are women who abuse it. I mean, I've seen it and I get that. And that shouldn't be allowed either. Like, you shouldn't just be able to every single time or plan on that. Oh, I can always just do this later. Because there's a mindset like that in a small percentage, but it's out there. However, the whole point was your choice. It shouldn't, the reason should not be.
It's no one's business, quite frankly.
The reason should not be anyone's business.
That's what Roe v.
Your
Wade.
choice is the whole, that's the whole foundation of it. And that should be all that matters.
The right to privacy. Like, it's their choice. I mean, and honestly, like, we're going to jump to Mayor Pete. Okay. But honestly, I'm glad I had to hear what you got to say, because like, I know you feel very passionately and strong about it, but I'm just as passionate, because once you take away those rights, because like when you're forcing someone to bear a child they don't have, like 2 points I wanted to make was someone who was supporting the Roe v. Wade said, by forcing me to carry this child it's like in violation of the 13th Amendment, involuntary servitude. I totally agree with that. But also as well, I think the reason why they want it overturned is like you're also taking a man's right to choose. And let's be honest, we live in a misogynistic country. Yeah. And it's men who are making decisions, like telling a woman that, you can't do this because I don't want you to. Or, and it's also the 14th Amendment is right to privacy. That means her privacy. Like, she doesn't have to actually tell whoever the father is or whatever, whatnot. I really, honestly, I just thought this morning. I think it's more about the men's right to choose, or their decision. Because I remember this one lady in the Senate. She goes, "Well, then you should like outlaw vasectomies too, because if they can have that, yeah."
Good point.
I mean, you should. I mean, I would. I mean,
why is it okay for you? Like to go and fix the problem for no reason,
which a man can do as an adult as young as he wants. Doctors will refuse women getting their tubes tied if they're under a certain age, but men can get a vasectomy whenever they want.
Whenever they want, and it's also covered. I think a vasectomy is covered
under her insurance.
Under insurance, I think no.
I'm not. I don't
It
know.
actually
look
might
that up.
be. Yeah, I want to look that up too now because I think it actually might be.
They
Maybe depending on the
Viagra
case.
is like Viagra is under like any insurance policy. It is.
Is it?
It is. I think it's under I could be wrong, folks.
No, you might be
I
right.
could be wrong, but
I don't think
under
I
like
knew
Medicare
that.
and shit like that, you can get Viagra. But they're taking money from Planned Parenthood. But anyways,
Can I just do one last
go ahead.
thing? Banning abortions is not going to stop abortions. It's going to stop safe abortions. Heroin's illegal, and people are still dying from that every day. So, yep,
Yeah,
with that.
you are
And so is
100%
Oxycontin as well. Oxycontin is legal, and people are dying from that as well. I don't know, but we can talk about this. I wish.
Yeah.
But anyways,
No kidding.
I wish I was here last week.
So let's move on to someone who supports us. Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Are we
Okay.
sure on this one?
Yeah, yeah. I was watching.
Buttigieg. We're all at
It's
home just in
well,
our
it's-
private
it's-
time going Buttigieg.
It's Jage, like like a j.
It's like a sound you don't naturally want to make because I always want to do either jeg or gig. So
Ew.
It's like
Right?
a
It's just
soft
a weird-
G, Buttigieg.
yeah.
So he gave he gave a town hall at speech at on Fox News. It was hosted by Chris Wallace. I can't remember. I think it was in I can't remember where it was. Pennsylvania. But anywho, it was on Fox News, which of course, the man in the White House was kind of pissed off about that. Trump is pissed because Fox News is usually his media outlet. Like, if he gets any interviews, it's usually on a Fox network. Like, he just gave one about, can't remember, but he's always on Fox News. He hit back at Mayor Pete. But the week before this went on, we were talking about, we didn't talk about it, but I knew that Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, they refused town halls from Fox News. Just to ask you guys, like, how does that affect your decision? Affect your decision between the candidates because one thing about being the president is you're not just a Democratic president or anything like that. You're the people's president. You have to reach across the aisle, and I'm very proud of Mayor Pete for going across the aisle because he actually got a standing ovation. He gave a great town hall. He spoke about abortion. He's like, I feel like it should be a woman's right. It's her body. It's her choice. So I don't think the government should be getting into that. And he said a lot of different things. He wants affordable college for students who are underprivileged. Who needs it. And he really gave a lot of issues. So like, how does that affect your guys' decision on making the right decision of who you want to pick for president? Because for me, after watching that, he's almost got my vote, I mean, so let me go to Nikki first, and then...
I mean, honestly, I'm still... I'm waiting until things get, like, more into the thick, but I'm always looking for reasons to say maybe he might get my vote for, or she.
Right.
I think regardless of how far... At this point, after seeing what I've seen, and I haven't watched that whole town hall, but just reading what I've read and seeing what I've seen, I think even if he doesn't make it that far, I think him being a candidate is... so good for this country because I think he's a really positive, different, a positive, unique person, and I think that's something that we really, really need is just to see someone in the race who can bring that to the table. So I feel really, really positive about him right now. Regardless, again, I'm still in the deciding stages,
right.
But I think it was like gave me, that little like, oh, good for him, man. It's nice to see. Like, that was a big thing to do, especially when so many people were just flat out refused to go. I thought it was, and which I think is commendable. That I don't have a problem with that either, but I think it's just as commendable that he purposely did go to this town hall and instead just spoke his mind and ended up getting applauded for it.
Yeah, I mean, it
wildly
really...
from the sounds of it.
It really... I mean, I think to be a president, you have to stay in the news, and, like, I'm still reading about it. But anyways, let's go to Ashley. And
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I was really disappointed in Warren and Harris. I completely understand. I hate Fox News. Anytime I see something from them, I become a keyboard warrior, and I'm like, screw you.
Keyboard warrior.
But at the same time, I think that by Mayor Pete going, he took advantage of the situation. That is
He played it to his own advantage.
exactly. Right. He thrust himself into the spotlight as someone who obviously won't back down at the face of opposition.
Right, and that's something that
that's so commendable. Mm-hmm. I mean, I hate to. I feel like I'm being very negative. I know.
Common courtesy.
So,
tell the truth.
Let it out, baby girl.
Tell the truth.
With Warren and Harris, it feels cowardly and it feels immature that they refused.
I agree.
I mean, for them to sit there, it's a political platform. You have to be able to go talk to people who disagree with you and discuss from different points of view. For you to say, no, I'm just not doing that. That's closed-minded.
It is. I think it would be, but I think they were just looking at it more as like a a strike, so to speak, rather than we don't want to argue. I think it was more of a statement than than them not. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of how I took it.
That's how Warren. She said she didn't want to like give a mouthpiece to like this hate, machine, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's like she's like basically Fox News is a place where people who for conspiracies, races, anything under the sun can just come out and just say whatever they want. She didn't want to like give
fuel to that fire,
credit to that, any credibility to their station. But still, I think that I agree with Ashley. You know, I think that's kind of not immature.
I don't think it's going to bode well for them.
It's not good because then these people, not every Fox News watcher is a Republican or conservative. Because my grandma's conservative, but she's a Democrat. She watches Fox News all the time. And by Pete Buttigieg going on that show, it's like, oh my God, we only heard a little bit about him. He's the gay, candidate, but it really gave you an insight on who he was. And I think that Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, they really missed out on an opportunity. And I don't know if you can get back from that, but just for me, I'm like, you really missed out. I would love for you to comment and debate and try to change the minds of the voters, because the voters are the one that are putting you in office, And he, like I said, he did really, really well, really amazing. I listened. I kind of want to vote for him a little bit, because he's young and he's a millennial, and he's only 37, and he seems very open.
He's like a whole package.
He's what Beto. He's what O'Rourke would want to be.
Right, well, I think Beto wouldn't really
I love Beto, but yeah, but he's reaching.
I think you have to really go across the aisle, and because he's from South Bend, Indiana. Yeah, and don't make fun of my my thought process out first.
I loved it.
You have to make movement to get the words out. No, I mean, and honestly, for me, I will say, I'm maybe a little biased because he is gay and he's married. He has a life that I kind of want. And he's showing the world that you can have this too.
That's what I like about it.
Anything else, guys, that we want to say about this little topic? Because I had some fun too. Just want to throw y'all out. I just want to throw this out there, and then we're good.
I'm kind of interested to hear what
you
this
get
is
me
now.
so
Now you've
scared.
distracted me. I know. We're like,
no, I was just so when I'm looking up hot topics, I usually do that at nighttime because that's when the news cycle is a little bit slower. It's not the top of the morning. And I just saw this morning that this woman, this grandma, she was arrested. Where is it? Do I have it? Yes, I do. This is a great grandma. She was arrested in at Disney World. She had a CBD oil.
CBD
oil, yeah.
Stop.
Yes, she was arrested after the security found the little oil in the clip in her car. I think her name is
I bring one of those every single time I go to Disney World. Is that since the ban? Since the smoking ban, probably?
Oh, was it the vape ban?
There's an everything. You used to be able to vape, and there were smoking sections.
Disney has smoking sections.
As of May 1st, I'm pretty sure they eliminated them.
Oh,
I have never.
That could have changed things.
Well, I read the whole article, and
my God.
they arrested for having CBD. I mean CBC. No, what is it? CBD.
CBD. I was like, wait, what's CBC?
Her name is
so they arrested her for CBD.
Hester Burkhalter. Yes, for having that she had to spend some time in jail or whatever, but she's suing the city because.
Wait, it's illegal in Florida?
What is?
That's what it's saying right there. It says that
Then how come you can buy it
I
15 places on every block?
wait, I buy CBD oil for my vape.
Well, she's saying she said she used it for her pain.
Yeah.
It said in North Carolina it's legal, but in Florida it's technically illegal.
Then how do they have so many shops that sell it literally everywhere?
Well, it doesn't have THC in it.
Right.
And that's a psychoactive effect. I mean, effect that you would
but
get
that
from that.
is crazy that
Well, I mean, but she's suing them
a
for
grandmother, this poor woman.
She's
probably sassy.
I just think it's kind of funny.
It is. It's just insane. Like, can you imagine?
I mean, they're suing. She's
Imagine
suing
that
for,
lawsuit.
Yeah, she's suing for. She's suing our Orange County Sheriff's Office and Disney for illegal detention, false arrest, and a violation of her civil rights. Which I think, hell fucking yeah, bitch. Because like this is just. I think we should. That's another story that you should really decriminalize marijuana because she's only using. She's an old ass lady. She ain't trying to get high. She said it helps her.
Marijuana is so the
know?
least of all of our problems right now. Like I can't believe that it even is a thing. That it's just not. It's insane.
All the human trafficking that's happening at Disney World, and they arrest someone.
And they arrest an
CBD.
old woman for having a CBD vape pen.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing they were on the job.
I don't know if it's a pen, but obviously it's the oil, but like
she won't be darkening their gates again. I said, well, it was a good thing they were on the job.
Thank you.
This poor lady.
That's crazy. I mean,
Sorry,
I don't know. I just had to share that with. I just saw that, and when I was looking up.
That is a nice lighthearted one.
I mean.
I don't know if it's lighthearted.
Well, because you know nothing. Probably she probably didn't.
Oh
get
yeah, she's about to make bank.
Oh yeah,
maybe she
I
can
hope
pay
she
off some
does.
student debt.
Okay.
And we've come full circle.
All right, guys. This was a fun little episode. All right, so unless we have anything else, we want to throw in an ad. No, I do have a show this Saturday that is probably will be recorded. It's a pre-recorded episode. I have a show this Saturday, May 25th at the Garage on Central, and then I will be performing at Sleepy Pride
Woo!
on the 22nd. Ready for that? Okay. Okay. So well, that was off key. So I'm Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More.
Ashley Renee.
Nikki Prue.
And we are Common Courtesy. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.